The crash. The shuttle doors hissed open, revealing a corridor of dark alloy and cold precision. Dr. Alara Quinn stepped onto the Kothari warship with measured breaths. The atmosphere was artificially oxygenated to suit her species, but the tension in the air required no translator. 2 Kothari guards stood rigidly by the entrance, towering reptilian giants covered in iridescent chitinous armor. Their tusks jutted outward in solemn pride, their narrow eyes following her every move. Dr. Quinn, a soft voice called out behind her. Ambassador Nelani, a translucent-boned Serenari diplomat, floated forward on her anti-grav harness. "You are truly going through with this?" Alara nodded. "Yes." Nelani tilted her head, bioluminescent veins pulsing pink with concern. "You've read the reports, I assume. The Kothari young have killed adult handlers. You're human. You bruise like fruit. And yet," Alara said, stepping forward, "they keep asking for us." Nelani said nothing as Alara passed her and entered the Kothari creche. The chamber inside was unlike any human nursery. Razor-lined walls, stark lighting, no colors, no softness, just an immense, cavernous space segmented into observation pens. There were a dozen young Kothari, each no older than 5 Earth years, playing, growling, or clawing at the walls. They were armored like their elders, though their scales were duller, their movements erratic, untamed. Not a single toy or comfort object in sight. Primitive instincts, Alara whispered to herself. No concept of nurture. Yet here she was. She approached the central pen, where a smaller Kothari stood apart from the rest. Her tusks were short, her scales uneven. Her eyes, deep violet with vertical pupils, locked on Alara's. "This is Torah," came a voice behind her. General Zorvak, massive even by Kothari standards, his presence filled the room like a storm front. His left mandible was chipped. His chest bore ceremonial scarring from ancient rites. And yet his eyes held something more nuanced than the galaxy gave him credit for. "She's a runt," Alara asked gently. "Size does not determine strength," he rumbled. "But yes, she does not bite back. She listens." "To what?" Zorvak looked at Alara meaningfully. "To music, to voices, to silence." He turned and walked away. Alara sat cross-legged at the edge of Torah's pen. She made no sudden movements, just placed a small pulse speaker between them. It began to hum a soft earth lullaby, Brahms' lullaby, in a minor key. Torah flinched. Her claws clicked on the floor. Then she sat. Hours passed. No words exchanged. No reaching. Just sound and stillness. Alara returned the next day, and the day after. She brought new sounds, heartbeat simulations, rain patterns, and human infant cooing. On the 4th day, Torah approached the speaker and pressed her claws against it. On the 5th day, she mimicked a hum. During the nightly diplomatic debriefs, tensions grew. Ambassador Nelani slammed a datapad down. "This is absurd. The Kothari slaughtered billions during the Third Frontier War, and now they want human caretakers? They're manipulating sentiment." Alara stood calmly. They didn't demand diplomats. They didn't ask for warriors. They asked for caregivers. Isn't that curious? They're war-bred monsters. Maybe, but monsters don't curl up to music. Zorvak's voice, gravel wrapped in steel, echoed from the shadows. "We are not asking for sympathy. We are fulfilling a debt." Alara turned. "What kind of debt?" Zorvak said nothing. His tusks clenched. Then he left. Day 11. Alara entered Torah's pen for the first time. She brought a soft replica of a human teddy bear, restructured with Kothari-safe materials. She placed it between them. Torah sniffed it, then clawed it, then lay beside it. Alara slowly extended her hand. Torah hissed. Alara didn't move. After a long moment, Torah placed a clawed hand gently over Alara's palm. Her skin was warm, trembling. That night, Alara couldn't sleep. She kept replaying Torah's touch in her mind, the gentleness, the restraint. She thought of Earth's own history, wolves who became dogs, lions that played with children, and then she dreamed of something older. The next morning, Zorvak was waiting outside her quarters. "You are changing her," he said simply. "She's changing herself." He looked at the floor, where the engraved names of Katheri battles lined the walls like holy scripture. "Long ago," he said, "during the Fourth Galactic War, a human child was found among the ruins of a city we destroyed. Alone, bleeding. Yet she offered water to one of our wounded soldiers." Alara's breath caught. "That soldier was my brother. What happened?" "He carried her to safety. Died shielding her." She cried over his corpse. "We didn't understand. Not then." He looked at her now. "We're still trying to." On day 15, Tora approached Alara during feeding time. Instead of eating, she placed a strip of dried protein in Alara's lap. A gift. Alara bowed her head in gratitude. The gesture triggered a series of gentle warble clicks from Tora, which translated loosely to "safe place, heartbeat friend." Zorvak observed silently through the glass. A younger Katheri male in the pen next to Tora snarled and pounded the wall. Tora didn't flinch. She simply pressed her clawed hand over her chest, then tapped Alara's heart twice. Alara felt tears well up. Zorvak's voice echoed in her ear through the communicator. "Do you understand now?" Alara nodded. "They trust us because they fear themselves." Later that evening, Ambassador Nelani confronted Alara in private. "Do you think you're saving them?" she demanded. "You're being used. You're a myth to them. And myths shape species," Alara replied. "You don't belong here. I belong wherever trust is growing." Nelani left without another word. That night, a system-wide alert sounded. One of the Katheri young had escaped containment. Security forces mobilized. But the youngling didn't attack anyone. It had crept into Alara's chamber and curled up beside her bed, mimicking the steady rhythm of her breath. Zorvak arrived at the doorway, stunned. "She left her pen for you." Alara knelt beside the youngling and gently stroked her scaled arm. She was scared. She came where she felt safe. Zorvak stepped inside. He knelt, touched the youngling's forehead, then said in Katheri, "You have chosen. You are reborn." The following morning, a new Katheri female hatchling was assigned to Alara's care. She now had 2 in her pen. Tora greeted the new child with a soft hum. Alara watched in awe. They were communicating, not with dominance, not with fear, but with music. Zorvak, watching through the glass, said nothing for a long time. Then he whispered, so softly only Alara could hear. "Now she dreams just like my son once did." The truth behind the trust. The lights aboard the Katheri vessel dimmed to twilight mode, signaling rest. But for Dr. Alara Quinn, sleep remained elusive. She sat beside Tora and the second youngling, who now responded to the Earth name, Kiri, watching them sleep, nestled against each other. Their breathing had synchronized. Their once razor-sharp claws curled gently inward, as if they had forgotten how to strike. Alara pressed her hand against the thin, transparent wall separating the pen from the viewing chamber. Beyond it, General Zorvak stood, arms crossed, gaze distant. "You knew this could happen," Alara said quietly. He didn't move. "I prayed it would." The next day, a high-level diplomatic summit convened aboard the vessel. Delegates from 7 different species, Serenari, Orkson, Drell, and others, were present, including the always vocal Ambassador Nelani, who seemed particularly agitated. "Let us be honest," she began. "This arrangement is untenable. Humans are not caretakers. They are chaos incarnate. Their history is soaked in war. We must not entrust a generation of Katheri to them." Murmurs echoed around the chamber. Alara stood calmly, hands folded. "You're right," she said, silencing the room. "Our history is soaked in war. But the Katheri didn't choose us for our victories. They chose us because, even in war, we protected the children of our enemies." A hush fell. Ambassador Nelani narrowed her gaze. "Are we to believe that these apex predators suddenly care about empathy?" Zorvak stepped forward. "We do not claim to be gentle," he growled, "but we observe. And long ago, we observed something worth remembering." He activated a hollow projection. A battlefield appeared, ashen skies, broken cities, firestorms licking the horizon. Katheri warriors stormed across the wreckage. The scene zoomed in on a ruined human structure, a hospital by the markings. Inside, a human woman lay slumped, shielding alien infants, Serenari and Drell. Her body bore wounds. She was clearly dying, but she was singing. A lullaby, barely audible. A Katheri soldier approached, wounded, confused. His weapon dropped. He knelt beside the woman, stunned by her defiance and tenderness. She pressed an infant into his claws, whispered, "They're not mine, but they're someone's," and then she died. The Katheri carried the children to safety. Zorvak let the silence linger. "She changed everything," he said. "That warrior, my brother, died understanding something we'd never considered. That strength was not in dominance, but in restraint, in guardianship." He gestured toward Alara. "Humans have a madness, but it is balanced by something else. A refusal to abandon the small, the weak, the helpless, even when it gains them nothing." Alara's voice broke through. "Your people don't want us because we're perfect. You want us because we choose kindness, even when no one expects it." Torah and Kiri were brought into the chamber, free of pins or shackles. The diplomats collectively leaned back, nervous. The young Katheri looked around, hissed once, then quieted as Alara stepped forward. Torah pressed her forehead to Alara's hip. Then she turned to the diplomats and slowly mimicked something unnatural to her kind, a human gesture. She hugged Alara. A murmur rippled across the room. Nelani stood frozen. Then Torah reached into a pouch tied to her shoulder and retrieved a Katheri honor clasp, a sacred symbol of oath. With trembling hands, she attached it to Alara's jacket. The symbol pulsed violet. It meant blood guardian. Ambassador Nelani stood, pale. "You trained her, manipulated her." "No," Zorvak said, voice like thunder. "She earned that clasp. The child chose. Of her own will." Torah hissed a short sequence. Zorvak translated. "She says she sings the way home feels." After the summit, approval for the Human Caregiver Program was formalized. A coalition of species would monitor the progress, but humans would be primary nurturers for the Katheri young. Outside the chamber, Alara sat with Torah and Kiri on a balcony overlooking the stars. "They're scared," Alara said. The other diplomats. Zorvak joined them, his armor humming as he Saturday they should be. She looked at him, confused. He continued, "They fear what happens if the most dangerous species in the galaxy learns to love." Weeks passed. Katheri young from war-torn sectors were slowly transferred to human care units. Mixed species facilities opened on neutral planets. And something extraordinary happened. The young stopped fighting. They played. They drew crude pictures. They hummed lullabies. They dreamed. Alara visited Earth once to speak at the United Galactic Forum. She brought Torah with her. Standing before trillions of viewers, she ended her speech simply. "You ask why the Katheri trust us with their young. The answer isn't power or influence or even biology." She looked down at Torah. "It's because we were the first to treat their children as children. Not enemies, not weapons, just children." Back aboard the Katheri ship, a new pen was prepared. Alara walked in holding the hand of a third youngling. Torah and Kiri greeted the new arrival with warmth. Alara smiled. "Welcome to the creche." Zorvak stood in the doorway, watching the scene unfold. He turned and whispered, more to himself than anyone. "Of all the galaxy's creatures, only humans hold war in one hand and lullabies in the other." Closing scene. Torah snuggled into Alara's lap as the soft sound of a heartbeat filled the room. Not a recording, Alara's own. Kiri hummed along with the sound. Alara whispered into the air. "The most dangerous species didn't choose us because we're strong. They chose us because we're kind."